Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here. It is Thursday the 24th of January. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Remember, the site to get free of charge by you coming back and using the adverts and using the site, by you using the charts and the adverts that are on the site. That's what keeps us free of charge, so thank you for doing that. Interesting developments taking place over the next few days as terms of the weather, as far as the weather goes. What I would say is I don't think winter's done with us just yet. I've been saying, haven't I, that the end of January, beginning of February would see this sort of increase in temperature, but then we go into cooler conditions again into February, and really I think it's going to be the 15th of February before winter's done with us, at least. Some refinement on that date, but I think it's going to be the middle part of the month before we see kind of the end of this cold weather properly. Hints again from the charts that the cold may try to come back in, and absolute mass of cold air at the moment centred across Canada, northern Canada up towards the poles, and you can see here this block is still in there. This is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow from the PSU Ewell site, and it takes us through from next Thursday through to Sunday the 3rd of February. We've got the ECMWF on the left here, and we've got the GFS on the right. Now, what both of these are showing is this trough across the northern states, jet stream coming in across the Atlantic and across the British Isles, and there it is again. Look, you can see it there on the GFS. Now notice these red colours here that's showing up on the ECMWF extending down to Greenland. That's the blocking high, that's or those are high heights that are stuck up over the pole. Less so, look, you'll notice on the GFS, it doesn't make quite so much of it excuse me, but it is still there. Now, in order for cold weather to come back in, and this is still going to be quite a cool pattern because the jet stream is still only just over the south of the country, so we're looking at temperatures around or just below normal even during this period. Excuse me. But what we're going to be looking at is the threat of this ridge building in the Western Atlantic linking in with the high across the pole. That could trigger back some cold conditions. And the signs are certainly there. I mean, if you look at this trough just on the ECMWF that's digging into this eastern side of the states, we've got the ridge build already signified here. But what you would find happening here is that this cold air just piles into the trough across the states. It strengthens the trough, well, not that far south. What it does is it comes in there, it strengthens the trough in here, it builds the ridge in here, and if this ridge can link in with those high heights across the north there, suddenly what we find is that this area becomes blocked out. Excuse me, this area clears away, and then we find a northerly wind coming down through the British Isles, or rather a northerly flow coming down through the British Isles. That turns us colder again, and then what we'd find on this pattern is high pressure building up here, probably around about the 7th or the 8th of the month. Perhaps a little bit earlier, the wind's going into the north or the northeast. We find then that this trough effectively gets cut off down towards the south here across Europe. We get a trough stuck in here, we get a high stuck in here, so this is our low down here, and that north or northeasterly flow kicks off again and could well take us through into the middle of the month. So that's what I'm watching for at the moment. Now, please don't go off thinking, oh wow, winter's back, loads of snow, etc, etc. These are just ideas at the moment, and it's just to give you an idea as to what I'm watching here just now, and what the rest of the forecasters here are watching out for. Let's just look then at how the GFS ensemble sees temperatures over the next few days. Here we are with a cold weather look that's developed in here, and here we are with temperatures gradually rising as we enter into the end of the month, but not lasting too long, look, before falling off. The GFS seeing this cooler idea coming back in during that early part of February. Okay, so as far as the forecast for the next few days goes, then let's get the relevant chart here for you, because that's that's not today's. So let's get the right one loaded up. There we go, that's looking a little bit better. You can tell it's been one of those days, can't you? So this is the chart for today. We got high pressure centred up here towards the northeast of the country, low pressure out here towards the west, and we've got this easterly flow coming in. Now, so we're relatively benign through today, through Thursday, but then out towards the west of Ireland, you can see what's happening here for Friday. Look, we've got a developing area of low pressure that's pushing a front eastwards. Now, the speed, the eastward movement of that front is very uncertain at the moment. It looks as if what it's going to do is produce rain and freezing rain and some snow across these western areas, together with an increasing southwest wind during Friday afternoon, but the east and the south of the country stay cold but dry. Then overnight and through the evening and overnight I should say, that area marches eastwards. deep area of low pressure north of Scotland, windy weather there. But this feature here, as it moves the precipitation east, that precipitation increasingly falling as sleet and snow. The big question is, what does it do? How much snow does it give? Very tricky to decide on that just at the moment. These are the sort of totals we think we're going to see by 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, and this probably is worst case scenario, but you can see it's the Midlands, it's Eastern England. We got generally 2 to 5 centimetres, but could be as much as 8 centimetres on the hills in the north. It's through the evening and overnight into Friday. Across northern England, across Scotland, with 5 to 10 centimetres, typically more on the hills, and we've just got this very low confidence that we could see some during the early hours of the morning across southeast England. However, what I would say is confidence on this is much lower than the snow forecasts have been recently, and anyway, we will tend to see a slow to moderate thaw setting in from the west. But these are our ideas for Friday evening into Saturday morning as to the amounts of snow that we may see from that system. Then what we find is that it clears away. I think it's going to leave a cloudy, damp day through Saturday. Just lots of cloud and dull because of the amount of moisture that's still around from the snow and from the rain. Could be a period of more persistent rain Ireland, Wales, northern parts of England perhaps. But then look, the next system coming in from the west. That then paths its way eastwards overnight into Sunday, takes strong winds and heavy rain with it. Again, we could be looking here at the risk of some localised flooding. And then what we find is that rain will clear eastwards, and then we're picking up this southwesterly flow look through the early part of next week. Periods of rain coming in, strong winds. I think it is going to be quite a windy, quite a mild and unsettled week ahead, and I think that really is going to pick us up and take us through until at least probably next weekend. Now, as far as we go in terms of rainfall, these are probably the sort of rainfall totals that we're likely to see by the end of the week. There we go. Look, you see quite a bit of rainfall affecting these western parts of Wales. You can see here this is 50 to 60 millimetres, so we're looking at a couple of inches there. But it's the northwest of England, it's western Scotland, and it's also running down through the west of Ireland that we like to see most of the rain. Here there could be as much as 100 millimetres of rain, 4 inches of rain from that brisk southwesterly flow that kicks in. So this is the chart ended midnight next Friday. So you see, there is the potential for some very wet weather around in the north and the west during the coming week. But I think what we've got to watch out for, and this is what I'm going to be watching out for over the next few days, is to see what happens with this trough. Does it dig into the Western Atlantic? If it does this ridge link up with the one to the north? Are we back to square one in terms of the cooler weather on the way again? So I'm going to leave you with that for now. Thanks again for watching. As you can see, it's time for me to get up to the gym. I haven't been able to get there for several days because of the snow, because we've been so busy here, so looking forward to going now. So thanks again for watching. Please do keep telling your friends about the site. Come back and or use the site, use the adverts, etc. That's what keeps us free of charge. So thank you for doing that, and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.